Hi there. If you're thinking about getting some hearing aids, you should, of course, do your research. I'm sure you know that. Well, I did mine. And first thing I did was rule out getting the ones from the audiologist because they're $5,000 up plus the cost of the hearing test and so forth. That's a lot of money. And I've had some, and yes, they work, but I found some for a whole lot less that are essentially the same, and they cost much, much less. So today, I want to share with you something I found that I think you'll enjoy, some that I feel good enough about that I want to do a favorable review. Well, you ask yourself 3 questions. That's what I boiled it down to. And one is, how well do they work? Well, the ones I'm going to show you work very, very well. I can hear like the best hearing aids I've ever had, and I don't get a lot of noise, nor is it overly amplified to the point where it hurts my ear, and I don't get feedback and squeal and so on. The second question is, how much do they cost? Well, as I said, you can find they range anywhere from, $25 to $5,000 or $6,000. Well, those little cheap ones, you really should just ignore because all they are is just amplifiers. And they amplify not only what you want to hear, but all the noise too. So if somebody shuts a door next to you, it sounds like a firecracker going off. And it's just all that garbled noise amplified. Not so good. And the third and an important one is the aesthetics. You say, well, how do they look? Are they unsightly? Do they look good on me? Well, let me ask you, what do you think? I'm wearing them now. And you can barely see anything here. They're in my ear, and I'm going to take them out and show you right now. Here's the right one. And the left one. Now, what makes these so darn good? Well, I will tell you, there's essentially, well, giving you a big lecture on how these things work, as I'm not an engineer. Many of them amplify the sound. Here's a microphone, picks up the sound, amplify it, and then they send it down a little tube, which you've probably seen down here, and you put the little earplug in, and you can hear. Well, that's okay, but these are better. These are called receiver or speaker in the ear. So what they do is they pick up the sound, and then they send the signal, they amplify it and send the signal down to the speaker, and the speaker is actually right here. Now, this company calls it their receiver. It's right here attached to the earplug, and that goes in your ear. So you don't get the distortion that you would trying to go down a little rubber tube, and it's all in here. So you can amplify it a lot less too and hear more clearly. That is a major feature. Here's something else about these two. They've only got this little control right here. The instructions don't really show you what's up and down, but I'm going to tell you. This is considered up by the wire, and this is considered down here by the big end. And by the way, while we're here on the big end, you can see these are the chargers. And I will show you how that works in a minute. Once you put them in, you can adjust the volume up just by tapping this, and it has a stop. It'll only go so far. And then when it does max out, it'll beep. And down here at the bottom, same thing, only to a minimum. Now, it has another function. If you hold the bottom one, what they call a long pause, it will turn it off, and then it'll give 5 deep beeps, just to let you know that it's off. And you can turn it back on with that also. And the top one, if you give it a long press, it'll give you a menu of 3 options. Now, this is really a nice feature. When it beeps once, it tells you're in mode 1. Mode 1 is just normal. And that amplifies everything, but again, without all the distortion and feedback you get in other ones. Option 2, which is my favorite, you get 2 beeps there, and it's called noise canceling. If you've ever had music headphones or shooting range headphones, it just filters out all the unwanted noise and focuses the amplification on what you're really looking for, which is speech. And it does that, it stays nice and quiet until it reaches a decibel level of the speech that you want. And then it amplifies it and sends it and then cuts out the rest. It's a terrific feature. And number 3, they call nature mode. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but doing a little reading, it seems as though that it amplifies sounds outside. You may want, if you're out walking somewhere and you want to hear birds and so forth, that's kind of nice. For me, the number 2 is the great one. So when you get these, you'll find, here's both of them here, that the right ear is red in the receiver and got a little R, and the left ear is a dark value like gray. You always put them in that way accordingly, and you charge them that way accordingly. Now, when you get them, there's a little plastic cover right here that you just peel off. A little green thing just peels right off. Now, how do you charge them? Well, first of all, let's look at the name of them right here. And you can see right there where it says in the ear. And that is what makes these so really great. So it comes in a box like this, and there's all kinds of things. Right here, a user's manual, which is okay, but you can find a little more information when you go to buy these right on the website at Amazon. And this little case right here with a magnet. As you can see, it's only about the size of my palm. Very small, so it's easy to carry. And the lid is magnetic like this. Now, what's important here is that you want to look at the case in this direction, not upside down. So you put it like this with all these little dots up, and this becomes right, and this becomes left. So let's take the right one here and put it in the right slot, right over here, like that. And you'll notice this light comes on. Then I'll take the left one and I'll put it in here like this. And you'll notice this right here, these little lights are charging lights. So this whole case is a battery. And when you plug it in using the cord they give you, which is a USB connector, it will charge this case and hold enough charge in the case to recharge these twice. And these have long-lasting batteries, by the way. You get about 60 hours on a charge. That's quite a bit. And then if you're outside somewhere you need a recharge, just stick them in the case, close it up, and carry it around, and they'll charge. These little green lights indicate how much charge is left in the case. When they're all up here like this, it shows it's 100% charged, and that is just the battery in the case. And then it goes down to 75 and so forth. Now, these orange lights mean that the hearing aids themselves are charging. When they go off and turn white, then you know they're fully charged. So what you can do is when you get home or at nighttime, just plug this, put these in like this, and plug this in right here, and the other end into your USB charging port on your computer or wherever, and it will charge the case and also charge the hearing aids at the same time. And that's really a nice little feature. I see so many features in this. They give you this accessory too. This is a little cleaning brush, and on the end is something. Let me take one of these out here like this, and right in the earpiece, you can use that to clean out any dirt or earwax, which I think is really nice. And there inside of here is a little filter that keeps it clean and keeps the earwax out and traps it. So they give you this thing here, And it is a cleaner for every once in a while. You take one of these like this, you take the old filter out. There is a little filter in there to keep this clean. That pops it out, and there's another one right here. You put a fresh one in, and then you're good to go for a long time, months or so forth. I think that's wonderful. I've never seen another one does that. And of course, you've got a whole set of different size earplugs right here. I just chose these. These are the mediums. These are the ones that come with it. And you want to get the ones that really fit in your ear well, because when it seals up nicely, it's comfortable and it prevents feedback. Now, I haven't gotten any feedback out of these yet, and I've had some that squeal that they're worthless. These are nice. My friends, I hope that when you go shopping for these, you at least give these a try, because at $200, is a whole lot less than $5,000, and they work as well, and they have some better features. So I want to thank you, and I hope I've helped you, and good luck with your hearing.